Hello everybody, welcome to August 2nd. I'm out here in the grapevines and I am trying to harvest a lot of grapes. They are so ready and plentiful, and we have some plans. With this first batch, it should be enough to make some grape jelly, and then the second batch hopefully enough to do grape juice. Welcome to Lauren.Spoonfull of Jelly, and I hope you guys are having an excellent day, that you're out there working your farmer's market, working your gardens, trying to put up some yummy goodness while it's fresh and in season. If you like content like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I'll go ahead and show you what our lovely vines look like. That's a lot, isn't it, guys? So I'm just working my way around. Some of them are not ready yet. They still have a little bit to go. Lots of green, which is good, because that means that we will have second and even a third harvest. Our lovely grapevines not only came through the fence, over the fence, under the fencing, so we have to put up like this little netting that not only trapped some of the Japanese beetles, but it deterred the lovely groundhog that keeps running out here trying to attack our garden, as well as the birds. They can't stand that black netting because the birds can't really see it until their wings are kind of trapped. So it's been a win-win. It's just harvesting it. Now us, the humans, are getting trapped. So we're back home from a day with the nature school. And today's nature school, we happened to go to a park that had a community garden. The guy that runs the community garden, great guy, very nice, he said something that was very interesting. A lot of families show up in the springtime to plant. They love to plant. They get all kind of education on what to put in the ground. But all summer long, those family members, those community groups, they disappear. They do not come back and harvest their goods. So we got to enjoy like a cantaloupe that was growing out of the compost bin, and some other goodies I'll show you, all because these family members or these groups that have planted disappeared. He does plant many there. He has taken over this city park and has transformed it beautifully, but I was really surprised at how many people just planted and left. So if you are interested in growing your own food, take a look at community gardens. They're everywhere, tucked in, and they're even at city parks. It doesn't have to be a private property or somebody's private land. It is called community for a reason. It could be at an empty lot in between homes, sometimes even along the thoroughway of a major street. Check out community gardens in your area. A lot of times there's a telephone number or contact information posted near that garden, so you can pick up the phone and call. Now's the time to think about your fall garden. Now is the time to make sure that you get in. After all, people have abandoned their plots, and so it's there for your taking. It is there for your taking. Let me show you what we picked up.
Ready? No, turn it to me. Guys, welcome back. What day is it today?
Today's Wednesday, August 2nd.
Hi guys, welcome back. Today is Wednesday, August 2.
What did you pull out the ground today at the community garden?
Radishes.
Mm-hmm.
And potatoes, but the other one was rotten. I mean,
No, not these.
And I got
What is that?
tomato,
Mm-hmm.
and it smells just the same as the rotten potato.
It's not rotten. What are these?
Peas,
No.
green beans,
Mm-hmm.
and cucumber. What's this?
And another friend of ours brought it to the garden. That is a lemon cucumber. They grew it in their own home and they came and shared it.
And cucumbers.
Yep.
And potato.
So all of this was provided to the children just for stopping by, and the gardener was there.
And
all of this derives from a community gardens. If you're ever looking for a way to get just a little bit on your shelf, a community garden is a way to go. And they're free. Most of the time they're free. I haven't heard of one that you actually had to pay, but you never know. For the most part, they're free. I'll show you what we picked up at our own garden when we left the community garden and went over to ours. So I grabbed 2 onions. They've already dried. They're stored at my mom's house. There's some nasturtium. We'll go ahead and get this on the dehydrator. 4 bell banana peppers, a tomato, and then these 5 cucumbers. So these 5 plus those 2 are going to be another dish of some sort because we have tons and tons of cucumbers, and my mom has about 2 more that she wants to bring over here tomorrow for me to make something with. So I don't know about you guys, but this time of year is cucumbers galore. It's flooding everything all over our home. So we are going to go ahead and get a couple items done for today, which is including the nasturtium. But I want to encourage you, if you don't grow anything, don't fret. You're not the only one that's not growing. Take notice of community gardens in your area and how you guys could get some fresh food in your home, in your bellies, by not actually owning the lots, owning land, but working right there at your community garden. So guys, I also failed to mention we walked home with half a dozen eggs. I can't believe that not only did they get to feed the chickens, but then they gave us some eggs too. I'll do a float test on these because the chickens like to hide their eggs, so you never know what's fresh or not. So I'll do a float test, but half a dozen eggs along with the rest of these goodies. Isn't that crazy, from a garden that most people just abandon? So guys, it's late at night. It's 9:20 and I'm making lots of stuff. First, I wanted to show you the grapes that we have picked today. I got those cleaned up, washed off, and I boiled them down so that we can get the juice straining. We will not be making grape jelly tonight. We'll do that tomorrow, but this process needs to be done separately. So either you have a couple hours to spare at one chunk of time to do grape jelly, or you do them in 2 separate days, or one in the morning, finish in the evening, depending on the time. But for me today, I wanted to get it done. So it's nice and hot. They have popped, and now I'm going to get it strained. I had cheesecloth inside my blender. I wanted it cool enough so that it didn't crack the blender. So I have the strainer, and that's going to sit in it and cool off and strain over here. Next on the docket, I got to redeem myself from the peaches that I did the other week. So I have water boiling. I'm going to slit the tops, or the bottoms rather, so that the skins can peel off easily and get the peaches all chopped up. And that will get us started on the peach jam. Good morning, guys. It is August 3rd, and I am finally labeling up yesterday's jars. And then I will add it to this box of stuff that was done August 1st. And this box will head out to the family. Nothing. We're gonna sit here and just have a shock. The corn. When you get done, you put it in there.
What's shock mean?
Fill it up in the top. No, gotta break it. Breaking it half. Okay.
I can't. If I
Pull it
can.
apart. Not down. There you go.
But is there all over it?
And then one side, the other side, break it off.
One side. I kind. Then one side. Then the other side.
And break it off.
Break it off. Shake. I was trying to clean myself more. Again.
You got a lot. I find it so funny that my son looked at that box, was like, again? So yeah. He's like, okay. He did a very good job. And when you give children a task that they can be responsible for doing something, they learn very quickly, they enjoy it, and they do it as long as they possibly can. He gave up. He did not finish that box with me, but I am just proud that he is learning skills. He's learning vocabulary, and he's learning where his food comes from. He came with us to buy that box, and he's going to enjoy the fruit of his labor of at least shucking it and canning it. So make sure you involve your kids. Well, it has been very fun trying to cut this corn up. Brandon decided to join me so that we can tackle this quicker. But basically, if you get a smaller bowl, turn upside down in a larger bowl, you set the bottom of the corn in, and you run the blade straight down and knock all the little niblets off. If you do not have a smaller bowl to go on the inside, don't worry about it. So here I am, what is doing called raw packing the corn, meaning that corn is not cooked or warmed through at all. Okay, so I'm adding them to the jar. It's about 1.5 cups per pint jar of the raw corn. This white corn is so lovely. I'm adding about a half a teaspoon of salt. That is optional, that is not required. I just add the salt to the corn because that's how we prefer it when we go to cook with it. And when I cook with it, I dump the whole entire jar right into the soup. You make sure you debubble, go all around the edge, especially down the middle, give it a little wiggle, and that can help release any air bubbles. If you're past that 1 inch headspace, scoop it out, add a little bit more water if needed. My jars are hot because I use hot water, and into the canner they go. I always label my jars. Sometimes I don't label it the best way. In this case, I'm doing just the date because I can tell it's corn by looking at it. If I can't tell what it is by looking at it, then I'll write exactly what it is, especially if it's flavored any kind of way. Go ahead and slide these into the storage box I'm going to keep it in. A couple of the jars will not fit in this storage box, but it's okay. I will store them separately. And next, I need to get the rings off. Jars wiped down before they go onto the shelf. Make sure that you do not store those rings on the jars. They can rust if there's any water between the glass and the ring. And they also can cause a jar that unpopped to repop because the pressure is keeping it closed. And you don't want to eat anything that has opened and then resealed. Look at all this corn, guys, that we got. These corn husks will not go to waste. They will get stored. They'll get boiled down and turned into syrup next week. Welcome back, guys. It's Friday the 4th, and I wanted to show you. This is a little bit of chicken broth in a 4-ounce jar. It is a perfect, or it is the perfect size if you want a little flavoring to make rice, or you want to make your own homemade cream of chicken. We do not buy the cans because my son is dairy free, my husband is gluten free, and that's hard to find. So I make broth and I put it in these little 4-ounce jars for those small batches. Today we're going to get 10 pounds of Jovel einkorn all-purpose flour put away. Even though my husband is gluten-free, we have been testing this out. He's been gluten-free for almost 11 years. So, or he just made 11 years. So he has been trying this all winter. He said he's had very minimal reactions to it. And so hopefully that's curing it. And this lovely big box came in from Amazon. Let me see. Hold on. All right. So in here, it is elbow noodles. Can't even grab a box. It's so tightly packed in here. Each box is 12 ounces. I know there's brown rice and healthier options, but guys, we have this on the Subscribe and Save, I think quarterly. And so elbows will come this month, and then next month, I believe rotini or penne, one of the two will come. And that gives us 8 boxes. This stacks us up for our soup needs in the winter. Elbow noodles are a great soup filler, and one of my favorite ways to do it is cook it up and keep it out of the soup. Boil it, keep it separate, and I put noodles in the bottom of each bowl and pour the soup on top. That way, any leftover pasta does not get wilted and mushy while your soup is in the fridge for the next day. And you can do something else with the noodles. It doesn't matter. But these items, even though they do not come from our garden, these items these items will be put up for winter storage. So I'll get that going today. We are getting ready to head to the pool, but before I do, I wanted to make sure that I preserve these grains for the future. So I'm going ahead and combine all the elbow noodles into one container. I believe 2 boxes won't fit, which is fine because we will eat those right away or later. Doesn't matter. And if we could preserve it in another way, such as mylar bags or other jars, I will grab those. It depends on what's on the docket for the next couple weeks of eating. Then we're going to go ahead and preserve the einkorn flour. It turned out to be a little bit more difficult because the bag was like splurting out flour everywhere. And einkorn is a very fluffy flour. Say that 10 times fast. And so it starts to stick everywhere. But I was able to get it into these 2 gallon containers and about half of this half-gallon jar. I will eat on this half-gallon jar quickly, as probably about 4 cups will give us some bread or cinnamon rolls. But nonetheless, thank you for stopping by. I hope to see you guys next week. And until then, happy canning.